Welcome back, everybody, to the FTI Podcast. We have more to talk about this week than we did last week with just having NASCAR. Uh, but I mean, NASCAR did not disappoint this week, though, so that's something. Chris, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm here. It's definitely been a Monday, uh, but I'm glad that I go on vacation in less than 10 days, so that's nice. Go on a little weekend trip, not to a racetrack, because it's with the family. So I'll be going to a cabin in the middle of the woods, and luckily it's not over the weekend.
If I'm thinking correctly, I think our first Mid Ohio event is a month from today.
Really?
Uh, actually, less than that. World Racing League is in 2 weeks.
Oh man, getting close.
Well, 3 weeks, but 3 weeks. It's the 7th through 9th. So yeah, we're coming right on that.
Can't believe the racing season. So the karting series that I run, like it literally starts in a few weeks, and like I'm totally not ready. Like, yes, I have all the paperwork, everything's ready to, like, I could go day one, but I'm just like, I am not mentally ready. It doesn't feel like it's right around the corner.
Yeah,
It feels like it was just January, and then
that's
now it's just
every
boom,
that's every
here we are.
Sunday for you guys, right?
We cut down, so we used to do 12-point races and one fun race. So now we're just doing 11 races total, 10-point races. Just so I can be at Mid Ohio for 3 weeks in a row
Yeah.
and go on vacation and go to a couple other races. Um, I'm still holding out and trying to get to Indy for at least the GMR Grand Prix, hopefully the 500 or qualifying or something. Try to get a whole May pass to be able to go, and then being able to go to the NASCAR IndyCar weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I'm gonna do the doubleheader this year, not uh Michigan, which it's so annoying that they're 2 weeks in a row. So it's like I think or Michigan's first and then Indy or the vice versa. But yeah, 2 Midwest races 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice. It was the West Coast had its fun, and now the East Coast was this past weekend, minus F1. I mean, it's the Middle Coast.
Yeah. Or where do you want to start with the races this weekend?
I don't know. Which one do you think was the least exciting? I already know this answer. It's gonna be
Well, the resident F1 hater. I mean, maybe the F1 only because NASCAR had the exciting finish. And as opposed to what was the last F1? Bahrain.
yeah.
Uh, I felt like this one had a lot less movement throughout the pack.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was. So I watched qualifying, which the only exciting thing about qualifying was that Max, his car just died, and
yeah,
then he, which you said, um,
I picked a Ferrari, didn't I?
no, you picked Hamilton.
Oh, I
Do
did.
you know who I picked?
Who did
I
you
picked
pick?
Sergio Perez. So the one time that Max doesn't beat his teammate.
Yeah, I mean, I I watched the race for the most part. I was a little busy doing some stuff around the house, so I didn't get a whole ton into the race. This was my first weekend in like 3 weeks. I didn't pull a bunch of shifts at work. Um but I mean, it wasn't a bad race. It was serviceable.
No, it was probably the least exciting Saudi race out of the three now that they've had. Of course, last year you had at least in qualifying, you had Mick Schumacher just annihilating his car.
Yeah.
And then he went, in a couple in the next month and repeated it in Monaco. So that was fun. But it, and then they had the stupid, Stroll just, he was doing so good too. And then just died. And then I don't know if the car was on fire. Like it looked like they were putting out a fire, but
that was one of the few notes, and one of the things I do remember from that race was them just the commentators again. I don't know why I seem to like to pick on the broadcast of all of these, but the commentators they didn't know who was broken. They were just like, "Oh, I think there's a car on the track. It's Lance Stroll." And I was just like, how do you guys not know? I mean, I know there's 20 something turns there.
There's only 20 cars.
Yeah, well, that too, yeah. There's only 20 cars. You can have a monitor on every car.
And they do. And there's a driver tracker. And at least I know that F1 TV and Sky Sports people have that up in their broadcast booth.
I'm watching on ESPN, so I think that's Sky Sports, because I think they just advertise Sky Sports the whole time.
Okay, so I have the F1 TV, which is their own people, and they're a little bit better.
Yeah, I want to say ESPN is Sky Sports, and then they're telling you about the safety car coming out, and they called the safety car because the GPS shows a car on track.
When you could literally a marshal could just be like, "Hey, it's pulled in. Just, let's get a VSC." But
yeah,
no, let's just bring out the safety car. And
I saw that and was just amazed that this is the fanciest boy sport out there, and it feels like you're at a run-of-the-mill road course or sports car course, and grandpa that volunteers as a marshal on the weekend. He's standing there and can't figure out if the car's on the track or not. So
put your glasses on.
Yeah, it's just
look. But it's just F1 has just, like, when you compare it to other, just even other FIA series, like the WEC series, that I watched my first race this weekend, it is so much more just better, like in regards to like marshaling and everything else. And it's like this sport that's supposed to be the pinnacle of racing, which I think is total BS. That it's the pinnacle because it's the most expensive, and you have all these dumb rules that make it exclusive. You've made it's the yacht club of racing, basically. Like the most exclusive yacht club. This is the Bilderberg group of racing.
Yeah, I mean, basically, look at Andretti. All of Andretti's problems trying to get in.
Yeah, Andretti's basically the Alex Jones.
Yeah,
they're just trying to get in and spouting off, and I don't know why they would want to get in. I mean,
yeah, I mean, at this
put more
point,
money into IMSA or something, like with Wayne Taylor. I mean, why keep putting all of this money into F1?
Yeah, I saw a quote by Chip Ganassi this earlier today, and I I wish I would have saved it. But yeah, it was something to the effect of what we were just saying, but I get it. Yeah, it's the greatest. It's supposed to be the pinnacle of racing and yada yada yada, but I don't know. It it just doesn't do it for me sometimes.
Yeah, it's as someone who started watching F1 and then got into IndyCar, it's really hard because sometimes I'm just like, why do I keep watching F1 when the races, you know, generally who's going to win unless something absolutely crazy happens, which unless you're Ferrari doesn't happen often. You know, if you're a Red Bull, a Ferrari, or a Mercedes, you're probably going to win or be in the top 10 unless there's some crazy thing that happens. So it's, you know, with IndyCar, it's who knows who's going to win, you know? And
Yeah, I mean,
I get that's the difference between, you know, a spec series and a built series, but it's not entertaining. You know, it wasn't entertaining when Lewis was winning every race, and it's not entertaining when Max is winning every race. It's boring.
I was just gonna say, do you lose that fun factor when, you know, Red Bull goes over the cost cap? Their car is so much faster than everyone else out on the course. I wrote down yesterday, one of the commentators Sunday, that Max going through the field with DRS is like an F1 car compared to an F2 car. That he
Yeah,
was
it was just
17 miles an hour faster. I mean, he'd catch everyone in the turns and just he wouldn't even apex, and he was around them and gone.
yeah. I was watching the through multi-viewer for F1 TV. I was watching which I just found out that you could do this, but it has all the cars telemetry up, and
Yeah.
then it has like the race control messages. But I just saw him just going through the field, and then I was looking at the delta between him and the next car, and it's like 1 or
Yeah.
like point something, and I'm like, holy crap,
I don't know
how does this happen?
I don't know who he ended up who he was passing when I saw that. It might have been Lewis that he was passing. That, I mean, it was just he might as well have been a brick in the corner. Lewis, that Max just passed him like he was standing still. And I mean, I understand that's the whole thing, what they're going for, this, that, and the other, but how do you enjoy it if you're, I mean, even if you were a Red Bull fan, how do you enjoy it when everyone every week it's going to be Max and you're going to be happy if Perez wins it?
Yeah, I'm a Perez fan, so I was overjoyed yesterday.
Yeah,
I was just waiting for some kind of stupid team orders to come over, but I
well,
think Perez would have like said no and
and
just
that brings me to my next thought on that Jos Verstappen, the look on his face when Perez was celebrating the win.
compared to last year in Mexico with Sergio's dad, how
Yeah,
he was, you know, giving Max a hug. He was just happy that they both won. And then you
yeah,
have, but even Max, there was a comment that he said, you know, it's very disappointing because I didn't come out here, and I'm just paraphrasing. It's not a direct quote. Come at me. Uh, you know, in roundabout terms, saying that, you know, he didn't come here to be number 2, so it was disappointing. And it's like, build up your teammate. I know your biggest competitor is your teammate because they have the same car as you, but dude, you're not going to win every single one.
yeah. I mean, are you
Like,
trying to
quit
win
being a
everyone?
sore loser. Like,
Oh, I found the Chip Ganassi tweet. I mean, let's face it, Formula One is about everything but racing, okay? it's like the racing is almost an afterthought.
It really is. It's mostly just politics, and then rich people, and then they're like, oh, let's have a race today.
Yeah, I mean, you want to have 3 races in the United States, and each of them your typical American race fan could not afford.
No, not yet. Not even close. Maybe Coda. Coda's maybe the only one that's slightly obtainable.
Yeah,
But even their prices are going up because
they've got to compete.
F1 and Liberty Media have completely shot the prices up at Miami and Las Vegas, which is now causing the Coda prices to go up. But F1 can charge whatever the hell they want for, the Las Vegas, Miami, because they're the promoter. It's self-promoted, and they just want it to be a place like Miami last year, a place that celebrities are seen.
Well,
And it gives notoriety to F1 and Liberty Media and nothing else. They don't care about the fans in the United States.
they
it's
just
a ruse.
want our money, and
They just want to sell you F1 TV subscriptions and overpriced merch that doesn't even fit because it's all European sizes. Because I've bought F1 merch before and it doesn't fit because we're fat Americans and it's all European sizing or UK sizing, and it's BS and it's overpriced. Why is your hoodie $100?
I know I'll get ads for them sometimes, and I'll be like,
And I'm like,
who's paying $155
and
for?
even
And
the
it's not even
sale is
it's not even
stupid.
a good looking hoodie.
No, it's like,
well,
dude,
that brings me to
Puma is
another.
making these. They should look better.
That brings me to another point with F1, and they already got caught with Drive to Survive faking some of the kind of rearranging the way things happened, or this or that. But their next TV deal, I saw a bunch of stuff. I think it was during the NASCAR race yesterday, people complaining about commercial breaks. And like, I'm the first one to complain about commercial breaks. But do we really think with the rise in popularity of F1, we will still get commercial-free broadcasts? If someone if you're looking at a NASCAR deal of 5 or 10 years, I think it is, and you're looking into billions, into double-digit billions for the TV contract, do you think with the popularity of F1, if it keeps going up the way it is, it's going to be any cheaper for them to do the races?
Probably not.
So, I mean,
but the thing is with F1 that, they have, so for a broadcaster's point of view, they're just getting a feed. They don't have to choose any camera angles or they actually don't get to choose.
yeah.
It's not that they don't have to. They don't get the permission. F1 TV controls all of the feeds. So everyone's getting the same shots, replays, everything. Literally, the only thing that's different is the commentary.
So they all get the super out of focus helicopter shots.
Yes.
They did another one Sunday when I was watching, and I was just like, what director or producer or whatever in their right mind think that looks good?
Who's on the follow focus for that one? Because they're not doing their job right.
I mean, I think that's an ugly shot in general.
It's all the way up in the sky, and then you just see the cars.
Yeah, and like I said,
sometimes those angles that they use for F1, the cars don't even look like they're going fast.
It's like the head have to be 9 miles off the track, Mr. Track Limits.
Like the friggin' head-on shot, it just looked like Perez was dying, and I was like, "Is it? Oh, he's still going." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll gain even more momentum because of its popularity on TikTok, its popularity with Drive to Survive. And I just feel like without the social media presence, because in the past 10 to 20 years in American racing, everyone has had to have that Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, good guy image that I think there's a lot of people in NASCAR and especially IndyCar that you could put out there on social media, doing interviews and things like that, that would show the personality. You could have a lot of that, Danny and Lando interviews and fun videos and stuff like that. But all of these old man team owners don't want their guys to show any personality.
See, but I think that, the good tie in there is the McLaren IndyCar team does an amazing job at
Yeah.
that because they're so used to the F1 world of putting out this content, and that's content sells. So I think McLaren does it the best, but no NASCAR team really does anything. I mean, Hendrick is pretty good about putting stuff on their TikTok, and some of it's pretty cool, like it's behind the scenes stuff, which is neat, but it's no like funny stuff.
I still think it is again, it goes back to they want to satiate the boomer audience. It's this behind the scenes of, this is how we rebuild our wheel bearings on the car every week.
This is us wrapping the hauler.
Yeah, and it's not,
we're putting stickers on gas cans.
Alex Bowman is a super funny, goofy guy. Have him do interviews or, jokes around the place, this or
get
that.
Him and Larson.
Yeah, I mean,
go like play mini golf or some crap, like just random stuff. It doesn't even have to do with racing. Just get them in a weird situation. Like all the F1 teams do these weird challenges where like they're holding a bowl of milk in a car and driving around the track.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm sure it'd make your sponsors really happy too.
Yeah,
you're putting their name out more.
That's the biggest problem in NASCAR right now is sponsorship. The money just not being there in sponsorship. So yeah, get these guys in front of a social media intern and do some silly stuff. Whether it is just go to the go-kart track, go to GoPro down there in Charlotte and have them do whatever. Just the fact that, if you can scroll through some of the TikTok stuff, to me, it just feels like a behind the scenes on Speed Network or something. Don't, get.
It's like early years of YouTube. Like,
yeah. I mean,
it's nothing riveting or groundbreaking that they're doing there.
I'll save this for when we get into the NASCAR race, but yeah, I mean, anything else you have from the F1 race this weekend? Because
not really. It was
wait, the big one.
Oh yeah. How do we? We both had a realization at the same time, like, oh yeah, don't forget about Alonso.
How embarrassing! I have that as
1 inch to the left.
The reason I didn't remember it is because it's my first note and I was already down on the whole 6 notes I took. But yeah, again, another starting grid penalty. If you're in the general vicinity, what does it matter?
It's because the sensor said.
Well, and there again, going back to what I said last week and everything with the Wayne Taylor incident, we put all of this technology on these things that isn't 100% accurate all of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
like, the GPS. What advantage do you get from 1 inch? to the left.
Just F1 being the picky, we've got these weird rules. We do this weird standing start. So those are our rules. But again, they were well into the first or second lap when they had come across saying that there was a penalty, correct?
Yeah, it was a little ways in.
Oh, yeah, and then so he served the penalty, but didn't serve the penalty because the jack might have touched the car before he was done with his 5 seconds. Why not do pass-throughs? Why not you get your service and then you wait 5 seconds?
Yeah, I think that would, or if you're so freaking concerned, instead of you have a marshal there, you have all of these officials scanning freaking tires and crap. Like, have somebody watching that penalty with a stopwatch that says 5 minutes up, or you have somebody in the race control that it's a timer, like an automatic system that once that car stops is a 5-second timer, and then like a signal goes out, says, okay, now you can go. Or quit doing these stupid penalties. Like like you said, do a pass through. Or
yeah, I mean, because you got to think a pass through with those cars and everything would it'd probably be more than 5 seconds of pit lane speed. But to me, when you're supposed to be the pinnacle of motorsports and you're handing out penalties for your 1 inch to the left in the grid box, and then that is going to, you don't catch that the jack hit before this or that, so that's going to affect the podium of the race or just the end positions in general.
And then you have another note that the race director made for that weekend, that I think it was turn 23, that everyone was getting their lap times deleted in the race for. And it was, if any part of your car touches the painted asphalt. Like, why does it matter?
We laughed about
use the freaking white line. The white line, which they said last year was the track limit. Use that. Use the white line. I get that they have to have spots where you can go over it just in case, because the cars are going so fast. Whatever. They're not going that much faster than an Indy car, to be honest.
Yeah. So yeah, on to we'll do kind of combination WEC and then IMSA this weekend.
Let's talk Sebring.
Which I think
one thing that I noticed about Sebring, I don't think they had any marshaling lights. It was just old school guys with flags.
Yeah, I don't.
When IMSA was at Mid Ohio, did they have?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
because I did not.
Maybe
normally
now I'll have to go through my pictures and see, but I don't.
Because normally you can see them in the broadcast because they're gigantic.
Yeah.
They're like the size of a flag.
I know they were there for IndyCar because they were massive compared to, and I don't. You know what? Maybe IndyCar was the only one that had them last year.
Did NASCAR not even have
them?
No,
I don't think NASCAR had them.
Because IndyCar takes their own.
Yeah.
And transfer them around. I know all the F1 tracks have them permanently.
Yeah.
That's weird. You would think IMSA would have those. But I guess they didn't really have them at Daytona either.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like IMSA is just NASCAR's redheaded stepchild.
It's just their cousin with fancier cars.
Yeah, it's a great racing series. You and the family would have loved the atmosphere at the Mid-Ohio IMSA track, you didn't even need a paddock pass. You can just walk right into the paddock.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, it's huge. One of the reasons why they're it moved away from Mid-Ohio was kind of the condition of the paddock and the, entryway into the track and pit road. But that was probably second favorite weekend of last year next to IndyCar. But yeah, Sebring, great race. I really liked the IMSA one. Before we started, we were talking about the WEC one, and wasn't much to remember besides the literal first lap crash of the Ferrari.
That was that was ridiculous. It was 10 minutes in, and a car flips.
Yeah,
I was just flips completely over.
Yeah, I was sitting at work watching that, and it comes up and it's like, oh, hey, everyone, come look at this on my phone. We should be working right now, but look at this.
Yeah, it's another weird thing with WEC, with their I'm gonna be the one to complain about broadcast this time. Is first of all, it was on Motor Trend for some ungodly reason.
Yeah.
The company that gives you like the Power Sports hour or the the TV show that plays in Summit Racing. I didn't know Motor Trend actually did stuff, but apparently they have some motorcycle racing and stuff on there too. And I think they have some other sports car. But why them? There's so many other great broadcasters.
It's funny.
NBC was already there.
I was looking like Thursday or Friday. I looked to see where that was streaming it, and yeah, it said Motor Trend, and I was like, huh, I think I still pay for that because Top Gear UK was on there for the longest time. It was the only it was off Netflix.
That's the only Top Gear that matters.
Yeah, US
because
Top Gear,
the US one sucks,
joke.
And I don't watch the new one.
No,
I moved over
I only
to the
watched
Grand
the
Tour.
original 3. But yeah, that was about it on that.
Hey, Newton wants to talk about racing too.
The IMSA race. Now that was pretty exciting.
No, I didn't get to my point about the broadcast. When something would be happening to a car, which I think Peugeot was one of the ones that had some issues right off the bat.
Yeah.
And they go over and talk to a driver of the other car.
Oh, yeah.
And they did that quite a few times. Like, do you know what's going on with the other car? No, why would you?
No, yeah.
Your job is to worry about your car, your team.
Yeah.
It would be like asking Sergio Perez, oh, so how was Max's car today? I don't know. I'm driving mine.
Yeah.
That was the dumbest thing. And they did it so many times that I was like, why? Can you guys not talk to anybody from that team?
Yeah. I mean,
talk to somebody on the freaking pit wall that's not doing anything right this second.
Yeah. Where's the
other drivers of this car?
Where's the, and I'm going to use NASCAR terms for this. Where's the crew chief? Where's the car engineer? Where's, they might be in there, but you might have a crew chief that's out trying to supervise.
Where's the driver that was just in the car?
Yeah.
I'm sure they're not in the car while that's being worked on. They might be, but probably not because it's hot as heck.
That was a little weird with some of that. And
it's just, what is this broadcast? The sad thing is they were probably using NBC's cameras.
Yeah, probably.
Because they're not going to bring cameras over just for one race.
Yeah.
But it is nice. All of their stuff is free minus the race on YouTube. So they broadcast like qualifying and everything on YouTube, which is nice. IMSA, which I have a problem with Peacock. It's not the standard one that everyone just hates Peacock and nobody watches it. I like it because I'd rather watch, the qualifying practice and stuff like that on a streaming service than wait for a broadcast.
Yeah.
But Peacock does not push motorsports at all.
No, not at all.
Even when you go to the sports tab,
Yeah, you go to sports and
there's like soccer all at the top. It's just
it's
soccer and golf, and then you have to click into IndyCar or IMSA to actually view that there's a live race going on.
yeah, that was that's
maybe more
so
people would watch your
strange.
program if you would actually push it to people. I mean,
Yeah.
especially IMSA, that's 100% on Peacock. Like,
It's so strange.
that's the only place it broadcasts, minus like USA Network or something for a few hours. But if you want to see like uninterrupted, except for, some black screens with no commercials playing, which I don't know why they don't play commercials instead of just having the black screen.
Yeah, it's
like,
so strange.
Or just show me the track without anything. Like, you have a feed, just do a no commentary, just
I was
audio only of the track, like it's the NASCAR thing that they do.
Crank it up.
Yeah, just do a crank it up every commercial break. I'd be fine with that.
I was sitting here.
I want to hear the Cadillac.
Trying to think of what series I've watched so much different racing. I think it's Flow. That'll just, if they're going to a break or something like that, they'll go to one of the trackside cameras and you'll just have them going by and stuff like that.
I think even WEC did that. They had, there were times where there was just no talking.
Yeah.
It's like, is everything okay?
I'll tell you one thing, both WEC and IMSA's websites trying to find the results is like hitting 9,000 different buttons on your phone.
Yeah, IMSA is it gave me timing results for the race.
Yeah.
WEC was fairly easy. I just Googled WEC results.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I hate, and it is the look of the LMP cars. They are so damn ugly.
The 2s and 3s?
Yes. Those are horrible looking cars.
See, I don't mind them. I like them.
It's fitting that the one's called Orica because it looks like a freaking whale.
Yeah. Speaking of LMP2, but
yeah, that start
was
in IMSA was like, whoa, that could have been really, really bad.
And Scotty Mack winning third place overall and first place in LMP2 at the IMSA race with Tower Motorsports.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. I mean, to have a an LMP2 getting third overall.
Well, it's funny, at the lead up to the Daytona 24, they were talking about the potential for an LMP2 to win the race, the overall, because of not being sure of any problems the new GTP cars might be facing. So, yeah, I mean, short of, and we can just talk about it now, the massive wreck that took out the 3 contenders.
Yeah, and and when the broadcast, they were like, "Oh no, it was." I don't even know who these drivers are.
Wayne Taylor was the.
Yeah, it was
Philippe Albuquerque was the one. He was racing the Penske Porsche Nasser, and it was a battle.
It was a battle, and it was a battle well before that too.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh no!" And then they were like chastising the one driver who got over. I mean, yeah, you probably shouldn't have. Would it have killed you to wait another lap or wait a turn to get around
Yeah.
This track that hasn't been repaved ever, which is the dumbest thing ever. Everyone complains about Mid-Ohio sucking, the race surface sucking, but Sebring can go 50 some years without paving the track, and everyone's like, it built its character. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell do you mean it's character? Everyone complains about freaking Mid-Ohio's track sucking, and there's a concrete freaking, it's like an Ohio road out there. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, so the Wayne Taylor Racing Acura took out both Penske Porsches and opened the door for Cadillac to get the win.
which was crazy. It was a blue one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was the blue Cadillac because the yellow Cadillac died or caught fire or blew up. What happened to that? Something happened.
Yeah, it was such a lot. We both need to get better at taking some notes on some of these, but the weekends like this where there's 30 hours of racing altogether, it kind of just becomes the background to your life at some point.
But it's weird saying that. Oh my gosh, their website is a pain. But it doesn't show you the teams either.
I've got it up on mobile for IMSA.
Yeah, because Durrani won. And then yeah, that's crazy though, that because of that accident, that three GTPs finished 9th, 10th, and 11th. And then the LMP3 cars.
Yeah. Yeah, so overall, what'd you think about those two? Where they
It was pretty good. It was not bad. It was nice to see BMW doing better than they did at Daytona. Not really good for the Acura of Meyershank.
Meyershank, yeah.
I mean, to get that penalty, getting put on probation and having to fire, but they didn't have to. But
yeah,
what's your job going to be?
Yeah,
a high-level technician on their car and giving back all the prize money. They get to keep the win, whatever. But and then to finish, where did they finish overall? 24th.
Yeah. Which is funny is they still finished over all the GTD cars.
And they did, and they finished ahead of Cadillac Racing.
Yeah.
Because their car died. And the other BMW, which finished 51st.
Yeah, just not a great weekend for the GTP cars, but they're working out the kinks. Le Mans is a few months away, so that's the big one.
Which only a few of them are actually going.
Yeah, so
because Penske has separate cars,
yeah,
for WEC. Is it the same drivers too that raced them?
No, I don't think so.
A whole bunch, because that would have been insane to race that much in one weekend.
Yeah,
and then have to travel around the world and then come back to America and race.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and then I saw I think Cadillac had a separate car that was in WEC as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was confused when I saw it.
Honestly, I'm still learning a lot about. I first of all, I had no clue really about WEC at all before going into this weekend. I just knew that they had similar cars to IMSA, but I literally thought that they were all going to race together.
So and I thought that was the whole point of the new GTP Le Mans prototype, whatever we're calling them now, is that it was going to be the same car, the same specs for both leagues.
Yeah, because I mean, now I guess you can get a timing,
Yeah.
data because they're racing on the same track, but it just makes no sense for them to have those teams to have two separate teams for each series when it's
Yeah.
supposed to be homologated between the two series. So why didn't they just build a freaking WEC car and race Le Mans
Yeah.
instead of homologating things and then running the
The
two different cars in two different series?
the world may never know.
But they can race together, but they
Yeah.
won't.
Who knows? So on to NASCAR, which I think the meh race of the week. I don't know if you watched any of the truck and
I did not.
Xfinity.
The only thing I saw from Xfinity is the one moment.
And we can talk about that because both races were just a mess. Josh Williams is a hero.
That I could not imagine that happening in any other series than NASCAR.
Every local short track in your
Well, yeah, I've seen a lot of that happen.
Speaking of, there was a clip going around last week, I think, of two street stocks. They must have tangled up, ended up in the infield, and the one guy just lost it, ruined both cars. Threw it into
Was
reverse.
this at Bowman Gray? Because that's
No, it
every
was.
race.
Well, there was one. I think I saw a clip from Bowman Gray over the weekend of somebody just they're either the race is done or they're lining up to start, and this car just comes flying and just late models and just right under the other one, sending it forward.
I know we're getting off topic, but those guys at Bowman Gray, of course, the one time I went, it was a NASCAR sanction night, so they all were being good.
Yeah, everyone's
And
on their best behavior.
I was hoping to see the Myers brothers be a little bit rowdy. But seriously, like, they're going to learn. Somebody's going to die one day with somebody being an idiot on the track, which I think these people are idiots that are the Southern racers are insane compared to us Northerners. Like, you would very rarely have I seen something like that. I have seen a former owner of my local track drive over top of another car. To be fair, he claimed that his throttle stuck, which I think is BS. But and I've seen some wrecks that my dad had gotten in racing street stocks, but nothing like super deliberate where you're like ruining both of your machinery. Like,
yeah,
what money? I get it. This is what sells down there, and sponsors love it. And the freaking jacked up hillbillies down there and Winston-Salem just love those cars getting wrecked. I mean, first of all, and this is a track that does not have fencing on the straightaways. It is just in one turn. And then I think there might be a small fence by the clubhouse. But it's like one of these cars is just going to flip over a guardrail and then be in the crowd.
Thankfully, they're not going too fast there.
No, it's very slow. The racing's really boring there because it's just flat and it's so small. And it's just an old racetrack that has notoriety because it's right there in the heart of NASCAR country. And it's peculiar because it's a football stadium,
But yeah,
it's the better LA Coliseum.
I'm just gonna go with Josh Williams for president, 2024. I mean, it just kind of it shows the frustration that these drivers are feeling with some of this stuff. You're making them race you've changed Atlanta, a track that everyone liked, to this more super speedway type racing with the pushing and all of that. And it's March. It's cold there. I don't know if you paid much attention to the weekend, but I mean, it was in the 40s all weekend down there.
Oh, wow.
So, he gets involved, I want to say, in someone else's wreck. They have to put bear bond on it to try and fix it. And the bear bond doesn't hold in the cold. And the race was a mess already. So when the bear bond didn't stick, and it extended the caution, they told him to park it. So he parked it. I mean, I'm sure he'll get a massive fine tomorrow morning. I saw Denny Hamlin post during all of that he'll pay the fine.
Yeah, because it's something Denny Hamlin would probably do.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, I think it was, hey, the fans liked it. I don't think they're as frustrated as some of the drivers, but, we all love a spectacle when you sat there watching, 200 laps of caution.
Could this be our Wallace Larson of 23?
It was funny. They interviewed him. Fox interviewed him in the afterwards, and he said, "What are they going to do? Fine me? I can't pay it." Yeah, these little journeyman drivers that are racing for, it's costing them money to race every week. If you find them $50,000, they just go out of business.
Yeah, they're just not going to show up anymore.
Yeah.
And then you have one less car.
Yeah, you already have some of these smaller.
I would give him like a 1 race suspension.
Yeah, I mean,
and then bring him back.
Yeah, but
they probably won't. They're going to screw him. Because embarrassed NASCAR, the organization.
Yeah, embarrassed,
which is the Disney of racing. And
so that leads me into the next topic before we get into the Cup race. The big news of the week, Hendrick getting popped on all 4 of their cars.
I did not see this.
Okay, so before the Phoenix race last week, Hendrick had their hood louvers taken away for it's with the new spec car being you cannot modify single source supplier parts. So NASCAR inspected their cars before practice. So they haven't even they may have gone through their initial inspection, but nothing more than that. They inspected them, said they didn't like something on the louvers. Because it's NASCAR, you never get the full answer. You just get,
it's not like F1 where they give you a 20-page document saying what they found. And
it's just literally we didn't like the shape of the louvers, or this or that.
No, so this is like their second time, because was it Hendrick last year that had the piece of something underneath their wrap?
No, that was Joe Gibbs. That was Kyle. That was Kyle Busch and Denny last year, and then Keselowski got popped also last year.
Okay.
Keselowski got popped for modifying, I think they were saying, a rear bumper or rear quarter panel. And the problem is they went with this spec car. This year they've changed the noses on the cars, which in turn, changes the whole front of the car. And I don't think they're getting enough new pieces in. And there's been a lot from the teams all week complaining about these louvers that they've brought it to NASCAR's attention, and NASCAR kind of pussyfoots around the topic of this or that. So all 4 teams were fined 100 drivers' points. Crew chief was suspended for I think 4 weeks.
Whoa!
So I mean, you took
holy crap!
Yeah, they don't play around with these single source parts. It's for any other team, but probably Joe Gibbs, Penske, or Hendrick. It's a season ruiner. It ruined Keselowski's season last year, and I mean, it took Alex Bowman from first in points last Saturday, or no, end of the race Sunday, to like 23rd in points.
Wow.
Kyle Larson is just above Ty Dillon and BJ McLeod right now, who are the
geez.
And I mean, William Byron with 2 wins this season. It's 28th in points right now.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, so they're not playing with these spec parts in these cars. But yeah, I just
and the yesterday's results did not help the matter either.
Yeah, trying to navigate NASCAR's website sometimes is just as bad, or app, I should say. Yeah, so winner yesterday, Joey Logano. Did either of us have Logano picked?
Let me look.
Because I think I said Denny.
I said.
Did you say Brad?
I said Reddick.
Reddick. Okay.
Did I actually luck out?
Yeah, we're 1 apart again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I think
you said Harvick.
Did I say Harvick?
No, you said Blaney.
Blaney. Oh, okay. So there's 1 in between us this week.
Again.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll take the win on the random choice that I made.
Overall, pretty boring race up until that last, battle in the 10 laps. It had Ross Chastain doing Ross Chastain things and not taking out Harvick, but just making moves you don't need to make. I mean, I like Chastain. That's a Ross Chastain bumper behind my head right there from his days at JD Motorsports in the Xfinity Series. But he just makes such aggressive moves so early in the race and takes out competitive cars. He said, and I think Harvick even agreed, that he didn't touch him, but when you're cutting across someone's bumper like that midway through the race, that's going to disturb the air on the bumper. Why do it at that point? Why are you being that aggressive so early in a race? But yeah, yesterday being another, super speedway style race, you had some of the, I mean, not as bad as Xfinity, and that was actually a very clean super speedway race compared to
that's surprising.
A lot lately. But yeah, I mean, that battle between Joey and Brad at the end was a masterclass in super speedway racing, of just battling up front together and not giving an inch. They are former teammates. Joey's previous spotter is Brad's current spotter, and they've worked together in the past and everything. So I mean, that was just a masterclass of two of the best super speedway racers giving it all yesterday, and I enjoyed the end of that race. The first half, I think I told you, was it yesterday? I took a nap in the first stage because I'm telling you, NASCAR naps are some of the best things. You put the race on, you watch those first few laps, fall asleep for an hour, and then you come back to the action. So
I know we're gonna have another boring show next week because it's just NASCAR again.
yeah, but we'll have Coda with and
It
we can,
is Coda, isn't it?
It is Coda with the F1 and IndyCar stars.
Yeah,
coming to play this weekend.
All four at Coda. And then we have another week in between. For April 2nd is F1. Because they're, that will be the same weekend that we have IndyCar back, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So that'd be nice.
All right, so with next week being a boring show, and okay, road course. Who's your road course pick?
Oh man, who are the ones? Do they have
who won last year?
No, do they have who all is going to be in there that's not a regular driver?
Oh, I can tell you in a second here. If the NASCAR app, oh, there we go. I know you have, I think it's Jimmy, Connor Daly, Jensen Button, and Kimmy, right?
Oh, if Kimmy's in, I'm with Kimmy.
See,
I just want him to win because
you're hoping to.
I just really want. Even though his NASCAR interviews are way better than any F1 interview he's ever done.
I mean, could you believe
he was actually talking and he was happy?
Yeah, I was going to say, could you believe going from the strict just pomp and circumstance of F1 to just the craziness of a NASCAR weekend,
a redneck party?
Yeah.
And he's a drinker, so he's probably loving it.
Yeah. See, I have agonized over this all day because the road course ringer is no longer a thing in NASCAR, but there are full season road course ringers. I mean,
isn't Blaney good at them?
Not so much.
No, I thought he was one.
A lot of your road course ringers, Chastain, Cindric. I mean, because he started in open wheel. Chase Elliott, but he's not in the race this week. Oh yeah, Jordan Taylor driving the number 9 this week. I completely forgot about that. Now, if we were going with the road course ringers to win, I would go with Jordan Taylor because I just
the famous racing family.
Yeah. AJ Allmendinger, is going to be my pick, and he's the road course ringer. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Dinger. Christopher Bell is another one. Tyler Reddick got his first win last year on a road course, along with Daniel Suarez. So I mean, it's so much now. I mean, you've got a good third of the field to half of the field. Oh, Martin Truex Jr. too. You've got a good half of the field that can be a contender on a road course. You've got a handful that just they struggle with turning right a little bit, but
hopefully Connor Daly has a better car this time.
He probably won't.
Yeah, that sucks. He deserves such a better chance at a NASCAR race.
Yeah, I would love.
Is it with the same team again?
Yeah.
Money
Floyd Weather's money team. Yeah, you've got him with the money team. Jordan Taylor with Hendrick. I mean, Jordan Taylor.
Jensen is with Stuart Haas, isn't he?
He is with Rick Ware Racing, with Stuart Haas.
Oh god, that's like
So Rick Ware
an
has,
IndyCar team.
Yeah, it's Stuart Haas prepared cars, but it's Rick Ware. Now, that's another thing. If Rick Ware would stop racing in every series under the sun, he'd probably be able to have some competitive teams. Yeah, I'm really excited to see, because I forgot Jordan Taylor was going to be in a Hendrick Motorsports car this weekend. So he has been helping develop that Garage 56 car. He could be one to watch this weekend. I mean, he doesn't have to go for points. Oh yeah, and this weekend we have no stage breaks.
Oh, thank
The first
God.
one on with no stage breaks since 2016 or something.
It's amazing that they've done this for the road course only, but it's still something.
Yeah, and that's how it all starts. You know, they started the Choose Cone a few years ago at the All-Star race, and
Now, are they going to have that for this or no?
Yes, they're doing Choose Cone on every track now.
How does that work for the road course?
You pick whichever. Really, you just pick which lane you want to go into turn one into, really. And then everyone
those
else.
NASCARs have to struggle going up that hill to turn one.
That's a fun sight to see, though. I'd love to go out to Dakota one hill. Day. Yeah. So yeah, we've got
a NASCAR race would probably be the only way you'd be able to go.
Yeah. And maybe one day we'll get IndyCar there, but I doubt it.
Maybe we'll get some F1 credentials one day.
I think that's next to impossible.
Probably.
All right. Anything else before we go today?
I think that's all. We'll pick our IndyCar and F1 next week. Who we're picking to win those. Which should throw me off because it's an IndyCar oval.
Oh yeah.
It's Texas.
I mean, it puts on a better show than NASCAR at Texas, so
it doesn't put on a better show than Iowa, though.
Yeah. But yeah, so make those picks next week. So you went with Kimmy and I went with the Dinger.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Check with us. What am I saying? You can tell that everyone's just going to hear this because I don't edit these.
Yeah.
Like I do a little like voice processing and that's about it. There's no editing. What we say goes out. Catch us next week here on the FTI Podcast, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Check us out on the web at fromtheinfield.com. If you would like to hire us to photograph your event or whatever, check us out at motorsportsohio.com. That's our sister company website for doing stuff here in Ohio or business inquiries. Check us out. But we'll see you next week. Enjoy this week's NASCAR at COTA.
See you next week.
Woo!